सर्व वेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरम तम गोचरम गोविंदम परमानंदम सद्गुरुं प्रणतोस्म्यहम्। So in the last class we were talking how this contemplation, especially this contemplative verses, Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani iti, helps to remove all samsayas, doubts. So how this samsaya is being removed? Mainly through manana. So my usual logic that is connected to my body-mind complex, what we call as Karya Karana Samghata, and the scriptural declarations, and that we saw it very carefully until how long? He says until Sanshayadi Rahitam Karambuvat. So I need to do that until as I see clearly Ambu, the water on my palm. Not only I see, also the water is available for my uses or others' uses. Whether to do tarpanam, whether to sip, whether to drink, or somebody's eye, something has fallen, you can splash, or somebody's dying, you can give it water. So that means this knowledge has to be made personalized and make sure that knowledge is with one's own self at any given moment. But that's not that easy either. So that's why he says, look, how is it possible? So this verse number 265 tries to give one example of a king. A very interesting example. So let us read, then we'll go to the verse. Sambodhamatram parishuddhatattvam Vijñāya sanghe nrupavacca sainye tadashraya swatmani sarvada stitah Vilapaya brahmani vishwajatam. Says beautifully that Vijñāya, so Vijñā means understanding, knowing, Parishuddha Tattva. So what is that? So it says beautifully, Parishuddha Tattvam, the truth that is free from all sort of impurities. Impurities means here what? The ignorance. That is called Sambodha Matra. only the knowledge, the pure awareness. And once that is there, then what happens? Says beautifully. Then only you will discover it's exactly like a king. The example comes. Then what happens? Bilapaya Brahmani Vishwa Jatam. Then automatically, because of this knowledge, now the oneself, that which is ever established in this knowledge, sees that this Brahmani into a Brahman, the whole universe Vilapaya merges. Now the question may arise, how is that king? So he says, Nrupavat cha sainye tad asrayah. So the concept here is a very nice concept. When the king is his kingdom, that too in his palace, is not accessed easily, maintains its own distance, his own distance. And interestingly, the soldiers cannot go closer, there is no intimacy, there is no personal relationship, there is enough of space, enough of gap. But just because of presence of the king inside the palace or in the kingdom in general, everybody does their work perfect. And also king does not bother. Whereas same king, because this example have to be taken very extensively. When same king goes for war or some other work with all his group, there he is not that much protected. Also, all other soldiers, they may do their work properly or not. And the king also gets angry, insecure, affected, many other problems do come. So to communicate it to points here. So the king, when he is a king, that time everything moves smoothly. Whereas a king, when goes for war, capturing another kingdom, that time that is not king, is a insecure person. Or goes for hunting, enjoying, that time king is not king but an enjoyer. This is one aspect. Second aspect also to be understood, that the king is supposed to maintain some distance from his subjects. In fact, as long as the king maintains certain distance, a given amount of distance, a prescribed amount of distance, remember that long the king is not only respected, also accepted as king. Not like present day Indian kings. So every member of parliament almost are struggling to get a ticket from a fellow who is nobody. And when they do not get the parliament ticket, then what happens? They leave the party, go to another party. So this is the present scenario of Indian kings, okay? Just If you are aware of little bit Indian politics, you can understand. We say the camphor has gone away, but little bit smell is being still with the cloth. So people think still there is camphor inside a cloth. Because there is no distance, neither they behave like king. But only once in a year, they have got their only functions or whatever, where they hire to maintain the kinglyhood. So here also, me to function in my life, I have to behave like a king. So when I have to behave like a king, it means the body, mind, sense complex are the soldiers. They do protect me. And of course, all my sense objects that I come across, I'm using that all mine, because even though it is neither mine nor anybody, but I consider they are mine. So all sense objects are my subjects. I want to protect them in order to enjoy as the king do. But remember, as a king, I am supposed to maintain distance, that to give him amount of distance, prescribed amount of distance between me and my body-mind complex. Here the distance is not physically like as the king can do physical distance. Sometimes even the king is moving with them inside the campus, still carries himself as a king. Because if the king does not carry himself as a king, remember, no soldier are going to listen to him or function properly. So here, me, even though physically I cannot create a distance between me and my body-mind complex, but mentally, in short, knowledge-wise, emotionally, especially, I need to create a given amount of space. Then only my body-mind complex will start protecting me, will work for me. Or else what will happen? If any soldier, any person becomes closer to the king, finally poor king will start working for that soldier. Have you not observed? That's why you can discover same thing happens like when you become close or anybody becomes close to the king, poor king instead of working for the country finally works for a giving person. Same thing also me, when any aspect of me becomes closer to me, inside body-mind complex or any psychological aspect is closer to me. See, instead of them protecting me, instead of that particular aspect working for me, I end up working for that given aspect. And in the process, I don't grow, nor that psychological aspect in me gets matured, in fact becomes more stronger and vulnerable for me. That's why I learn to behave like a king. In fact, that is how we do it. This is actually time called Chaturmasya time. So when we say Chaturmasya time, it's a very nice, good concept. I think we have discussed some time back. Let me also start once more. So Chaturmasya means 4 months supposed to be those days. So 4 months means supposed to be those days, okay? Nowadays it has been changed because now new logic comes. Pakshavai Masa. You know how this Shastra Karas, they have the change. So fortnight here is called as a month. So instead of 4 months, it becomes 4 fortnights, means 2 months. However, still they are maintaining 2 months. That's a big thing. Hopefully they will not say that week is called Masam. Then 1 month, okay? Then finally they will say day is a Masam, okay? Dinavai Masam. So only 4 days, you understand? Possible. Nothing is impossible. So this during this Chaturmasya time, many people do Bratam. In fact, there are days which day what you should eat, what you should not eat. They follow strict. And all these acharyas, many, they don't stay in their own place. They leave that place and go to some other place. So when you leave your own protected area, go to some other place. First of all, what happens? Now, whether you like it or not, your ego is being challenged. Your way of functioning is being cornered. But there, you have to maintain your dignity. You cannot behave the way you are. So there, you have to maintain yourself and that given atmosphere, given setup, and people. People also expect a lot from you, being acharya. So every acharyas by themselves, they put into one sort of practice with reference to food, with reference to timing, with reference to meeting people. All sort of things are being tested for themselves, not for society, for themselves, to make them that we are on track on these 2 months. Earlier 4 months, now 2 months. So how it happens? Because there is a possibility that even if I am an acharya, I will develop my psychological aspect, psychological being in me. Is another bloated psychological. Because there is nobody to challenge me. There is nobody to talk to me. Everybody is only willing to please me, because I am an acharya. So without my knowledge, I do not know where I may end up. That happens to some of the acharyas. That's why you can see some of the acharya, what they do. They travel or they do this Chaturmasya Vratam, well arranged place or related to their setup. So I am tired in Karnataka, let me go to Chennai. So I am tired in Tamil Nadu, let me go to Andhra. You understand? Where my people are there, double benefit, all everything taken care, and also donation comes highly. I am sorry, this is how happens nowadays. So now the Chaturmasya Vratam has converted into donation getting Vrata for many acharyas, which is very unfortunate, but anyway, they also need to run the setup, okay? Unfortunately, nobody gives, at least this is an excuse, okay? It is required, I'm sorry to say. Because we have to really respect, because the way things are moving, unless we talk only, if we try to criticize, then we will end up nowhere, okay? So that's not healthy either. So coming back to the point here, how the king maintains oneself, creating a space, a given amount of space, is aware of all situations, talking to everybody, but maintaining one's own dignity, maintaining one's own self. Then only everything moves smoothly. Then only everybody works properly. So also, I need to function, creating due amount of space between me and my psychological being. I am not here bringing body-mind complex. Body-mind complex is very complicated, complex, okay? But directly I am using the word me and my psychological being. So the psychological being, psychological aspect of me is nothing but the byproduct of association with my body-mind complex. So that's why I must work on to create. Then only I will be able to carry myself in a dignified way. I will be able to function in a better way, not only psychologically, socially, or also finally knowledge-wise. So that is what is being highlighted in this verse, which is really interesting. That's why when anybody is being given uniform, what is the purpose of uniform? Because especially this New Age gurus destroyed this uniform concept. Whether it's J. Krishnamurti or Osho or present many jokers who mainly started criticizing this uniform because they don't have guts and courage to take uniform. That's why they criticized. This is the truth, this is the reality, nothing else. If you observe in any profession, when a police is in uniform, whether you like it or not, some given amount of responsibility gets into. A doctor when is in uniform, except lawyers, okay? Because first of all, you cannot catch whether lawyer is in uniform or not, because they put the black coat every time, okay? So whether it's lawyer or not lawyer, you do not know. Liar or liar, you do not know, okay? Very nicely, funny way, this law people, they have made their uniform, okay? Nobody can recognize that they are lawyers. There is no uniform, but they claim that they have uniform. Can you see this point? Very unfortunately. Okay, in the nowadays what they do in India we don't have. In other countries they have a gown, okay? That is called their uniform. And poor gown is always in the bag. They carry, they never put it, only they will keep on the table or bench or whatever before appearing in the court. And the worst thing is that gown is being exchanged by everybody, you understand? If anybody says, can you give me 10 minutes just to appear? Really, this is the truth, this is the reality, okay? Coming back, let us not stretch that point. Point is that when a person takes up any uniform, along with the uniform, responsibility comes. The awareness automatically comes. That's why we had a concept in India. All the ashram people, not ashram, those who stay in the ashram, okay? No. Ashram means brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyasa. All 4 ashramas. They had uniform. Seeing a man, seeing a woman, you can make out that person belongs to which ashram. Just seeing a person you can make out. North India is a little different, South India is entirely visible, acceptable. For example, I would like to highlight in South India concept. North India is the other way around because North India is mainly influenced by these Muslims. That's why things have gone other way around. A brahmachari in South Indian concept, a brahmachari means not married. Person puts dhoti or this white cloth, whatever, in a different way. Here in North India, Brahmachari means we'll put yellow cloth. So that's why any ashram you go, small children will be dressed in yellow. Vidyarthis, all the Vidyarthis basically brahmacharis, they are in yellow cloth. Nowadays without understanding it is, decorum. So seeing that you can say the person is a Vidyarthi, a brahmachari. In North India, in South India, because a regular way of putting, like we say 4-yard dhoti, double folded, is called a brahmachari way of putting. But when the same person gets into grihasthashram, instead of 8, it becomes 9-yard. And the person does dressing man in a different way. I do not know how many of you do regularly. I want to know how many people really know how to put. That's a big question mark. You understand? You can say, Swamiji, this Bermuda, na? They call Bermuda. This half pant, a little more than half pant, okay? Neither it is full pant nor half pant, okay? Okay? So, half cut, full pant. Swamiji, this Bermuda culture, in fact there is no problem with me. Sometimes that pant is being put by my wife, and also sometimes I put. Sometimes my child put, my daughter put, my son put, I put. Thank God your dog does not put, okay? This is the only difference. Because whenever I see people in Bermuda, somehow and seeing girls in Bermuda, you know me. I have my own problem, okay? Please don't, because I am an old-fashioned person. I have my own problem. Don't provoke me, okay? However, coming to the point. So here, when a person is being dressed in that way, that is called uniform. It not only reminds the person how to carry one's own self, also others gives the space accordingly. But I want to put Bermuda, but I want to get respect from others, like I am in Panchakacham. Panchakacham means there is another way of putting this, now all the married people put it, okay? So making nicely front in front, and there is a way, it's really nice, looks nice, very grand way. So that means, please understand, uniform reminds you a responsibility. That's why a responsible person has to be in a uniform. Not today yellow, tomorrow red, day after tomorrow, because somebody told me, Swamiji, you do not understand. We belong to, I am the worshipper of Navagrahas. So see, if you understand, okay? Navagrahas, I said, I did not say, what is Navagraha? See, how the black is dearer to sunny Saturn. So I have my black dress. And of course, white. I put some time to please Brihaspati, or red Brihaspati. Sorry, I made a mistake. Shukra, yellow and white sometimes I put for Brihaspati, for Buddha, different type of colorful things. Mangala. So each one I put for differently, you understand? All are, destructive logic. I hope all of you are, or some of you are, or most of you are Navagraha worshippers. Okay? So you put the dress the way you want. Now tell me, who will recognize you? When you yourself do not recognize, how can you expect your husband, your wife, your child, your parents will recognize you? Hey, you have to create your own uniform. That's why I can give you a beautiful example. Suppose few days, let's say 1 week, You decide a uniform. In home, especially office, you go another way. Office also same accordingly. And this another culture has come, this Amazon culture, which is a more dangerous culture. There is no uniform. I was told by somebody, in fact I received a call in Chennai, I cannot forget. Swamiji, I saw somebody. I said, what? What did you see? Now the fellow has put a pant, it's almost like less than underwear. I said, what are you talking? And a very short t-shirt, tight, looks very funny. Then when I went to closer, that fellow is very close to us. I said, who is that fellow? And when I got to know, I said, okay, be on the line, let me call that fellow. Okay, I called that fellow. I said, hey, where are you? And because already the call has come, the person is in the, what do you call, the cafeteria. So I said, what do you have? No, I have come to eat something. I said, what? So which dress do you have you put? I said, what is this nonsense? Oh, that means you got already a call. I said, of course I got a call. Is this way of dressing? No, in Amazon anything and everything is allowed. I said, why don't you remove everything, come naked also, if that is allowed? So this is another dangerous culture. That's why in Amazon, if you work, I'm not telling you jokes, you will be good for nothing. Literally, I'm telling you, if anybody works in Amazon for a length of time, that fellow will be good for nothing. The way they make you to work, the work culture is so bad, so provocative. Literally, either you will be a part of this, competing rat race, or you are out. Even if you are rat race, part of the rat race, winning rat race, you are miserable. If you are out, you are destroyed. The rating system, what they follow, the expelling system, sustenance system is really dangerous. But only fear comes to me, to be very honest, it's fear, it's not concern, fear that hopefully other company will not adapt to this. But very soon other companies are going to adapt, already started adapting. That is the dangerous part that Amazon has contributed and is contributing. Sometimes looking at this thing, I don't feel like buying anything from Amazon when I look at this. The real devil of new era will be Amazon. However, let us not get into, that's not our topic. Topic here is how uniform makes us to look at, create a distance between me and others. Others also automatically create a distance, give space. So also I need to maintain myself like a king. I think we have taken long time on this verse. Let us look at the next verse. Buddho guhayam sarasad vilakshanam brahmasti santyam paramaditiyam tadatmana yotra vaset guhayam punarnatasyanga guha pravesha buddho guhayam sadasat vilakshanam brahmasti satyam paramaditiyam tadatmana yotra vaset guhayam punarnatasyanga gruha pravesha. Says, look, punarnatasya guha tasya anga guha pravesha. It's very nicely, very technically is being put, this word. Punaha, again. Natasya anga guha pravesha. So any of the anga, limb, body part, whole body part, let us say, does not enter into guha cave. How? Means the person does not again get into mother's womb. Means no more birth. So reminds you how painful again to get into mother's womb. Imagine if you are being suffocated by your wife, by your husband, by your children, by your parents, by your boss for 1 week. How you feel? You want to run out? So here suffocation means what? Only that person takes a little bit your space, nothing else. That sharing the space is called suffocation for you, correct? So you don't get your personal space. Lack of personal space is called what? Suffocation, correct? Whenever you complain, I am suffocated, what does it mean? So you feel, need not feel. You feel your personal space is reduced. You assume that your personal space is challenged. Correct? Occupied by someone, taken over by someone. Fantastic. Nothing wrong in it. Continue. Now, look at a baby in the womb. Is there any personal space? In fact, the space that is there, so tight. That's why the baby is in a given position. In fact, this baby creates its own space. That's why the mother's tummy increases. And interestingly, if you observe, there is complete darkness. And the food of mother is your food. I remember we all have stayed, okay? So that's why I'm reminding you all these things, okay? Imagine if your mother is a Chinese, ching chang ching chang ching, okay? All alive, live, everything, okay? You understand? Ah, ooh, ah. Hey, I'm not disrespecting China people, okay? It's just joke sake. You remember one fellow came, I cannot forget him, to Italy. So I don't want to tell the country name also, it doesn't look nice. And these fellows had fun. I think Stefan also was there in that meeting. So I think it was in Jare, if I'm right. So then they had a fun. Hey, what do you eat? What do you like? And of course he was going crazy. Oh, yeah. So in fact he came to become crazy in Italy. So then I can eat anything and everything that is crawling and moving. This language is whatever moves in the wall, anywhere and everywhere. Anything is crawling and moving, I can eat. In fact, I told him, why don't you do one thing? If the human being moves, yes. Try that first. And the best thing would be, why don't you cut some of the portion up from your, thigh? Because thigh is a very big area. So if you take away some 500 grams of flesh from the thigh, it will not make any difference. So cut it and take it and eat. And that fellow was eating raw, what do you call that, fish? Raw fish. Tuna fish, okay? Anyway, coming back. So here, what again we need to look at here is, the mother food is child food. Means you don't have anything to do. You cannot decide anything. And imagine where you are being tied down. Mutra Purisha, that's very beautifully is being described. All sort of things are there inside the body and you are being surrounded with. What a suffocated life. It's not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, okay? 9 months. More than 9 months. That's why some of them get so suffocated. There are babies, they born before time, okay? They feel so suffocated. No, let me get out, you understand? And some of them are very comfortable. Like Shuka, for example. Shuka stayed 12 years. Shukamani stayed 12 years. He did not come out. Then there was a big issue. So what to do, what not to do? So finally, so he said, no, I don't want to come out. There's another story goes. Then he was big in a cloth. With the cloth he came out after 12 years. However, coming back to the point. So, means I will not take birth. So when I said I will not take birth anymore, means taking birth is a very painful position. Just imagine, wherever you are now, everything is snatched away. Your wealth, your name, fame, anything and everything just dumped in a place. How painful it will be. I said everything is snatched away, but literally everything is not snatched away, because still your body is there, mind is there, okay? The knowledge is there, everything is there, but still you feel, oh, everything is lost, everything is lost. Tell me, what is everything is lost? And nothing is lost. But at least your body mind complex is there, knowledge is there, everything is there. Now when you take birth, literally everything is lost or not? New body, new atmosphere, new parents, everything is new, including knowledge, even though it is there in you, but it is in a dormant condition. Can you see this point? The knowledge that you have gathered in previous life, it is there in you, but it is in a dormant position. It waits. It takes its own time to get unfolded, to pick it up again. And remember how painful it would be. So instead of that, what is highlighting is, hey, better complete the cycle here, okay? Nothing else. So he says, Anga Guha Pravesha, Punaha na Tasya Anga Guha Pravesha, means there is no rebirth anymore for that person. And who is that person? Buddho Guhayam Sat Asat Vijlakshanam Brahma Asti Iti Satyam Param Adityam Tadatma Yaha Atra Vaset Guhayam. So one statement. So the one who understands, what is he understands? Where Buddho Guhayam, in the cavity of intellect, because that only creates the problem. So knowledge is to make me understand, not make others understand. And what is that? The Brahman, that is called Aditya, without any second, non-duality. And of course, Sat Asat Vilakshana, that which is free from any relative thing, truth and untruth, which is absolute. That me, so that Brahman is me, that dwells in me, the one who understands. That person only is free from next birth. Means the person will not able to be born. Like somebody said, look, if there is death, only there can be birth. If there is no death, how can there be birth? Very simple statement, but it's very grand. If there is death, then only can there be birth. If you don't die, how can you be born? So what is it? Death? Death is nothing but sense of fear, sense of loss. Even if so-called death, called falling of body, must not create any difference to the person. And when the person leaves the body in this way, how can that person be born? That's why the death really reminds us, the death becomes indicator of our next or coming birth. more of it. We'll see the verses which will talk about Nididhyasanam aspect, handling this called Vikshepa, the vasanas. We'll see on Monday. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya